So a lot of people these days have been asking and digging into the question of what exactly is 666? What is it really? And throughout your studies and the decades you dug into this, I'm really curious what you've learned about that.
Well, John, that's actually one of the simplest and easiest prophecies in the Bible to understand. You have to get some facts straight. That's the first thing. You have to do some thinking and do some research. Let me read this for you in Revelation chapter 13. This is in the English Bible, the King James Bible. It reads this way. And that he is referring to the beast, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and the number is 666. There's your number, 666. Got to get some facts straight first. First, we need to realize that the Apostle John, who is the man that received the revelation from God about Jesus, he received the revelation. He was Jesus' best friend on the earth. In fact, when Jesus was on the cross, hanging on the cross, he gave his mother Mary to his friend John to take care of after he was gone. Well, John was the man that received the revelation. He made his living his entire life as a fisherman. His brother James and he were both commercial fishermen. Their father Zebedee was very likely a fisherman, since that was the family business. He was raised in a little fishing village named Nazareth, which was on the coast of the Sea of Galilee, there in Israel. So he was not from a wealthy family, and he would have only been educated in Hebrew because he was a Jewish man. That's the education
What kind
he
of
would.
people would be educated beyond that?
Well, people like the Apostle Paul, who had a wealthy family and was raised under Roman citizens. He had the opportunity to have more education. But people in a small fishing village on the coast of the Sea of Galilee would only have Hebrew people would only have had a Hebrew education.
That makes sense.
So he would not have understood Greek nor Latin. So everything that he saw and heard in the Revelation, he saw and heard in Hebrew. Now, that's a simple fact. It's an undeniable fact. The second fact is that in ancient Hebrew, which was the language that John spoke, there were no numbers. The letters of the alphabet were used as numbers. If we did that today, an A would represent a 1, a B would represent a 2, and so on. John saw and wrote down the 6th letter in the ancient Hebrew alphabet 3 times and stated that without this, men would not be able to buy or sell. Very simple fact. The third fact we need to pay attention to is that the 6th letter in the ancient Hebrew alphabet is the ancient Hebrew equivalent of the W. Very simple. It's the W. You pronounce it a vav when you're looking at it today, but it's the ancient Hebrew equivalent of a W. So let's retrace this just a minute. The Apostle John, who was a Hebrew-speaking, Hebrew-reading man, he would not have understood any other language, had to be seeing and hearing everything he got in the Revelation in Hebrew. He's looked up there and he saw what he equated as being a 666, the same symbol 3 times. It had, in his mind, it had to be a number. It couldn't be a word because it was the same symbol 3 times. In the Hebrew alphabet, they didn't use numbers, they used their alphabet as numbers. The first symbol, the first letter was a 1, second letter was a 2. The sixth symbol, the sixth letter in the Hebrew alphabet is their equivalent of the W. So, what the Lord actually revealed to the Apostle John in the Revelation was, without W, men will not be able to buy or sell. It's that simple. Now today, we use www constantly, buying and selling. We are not forced to use it. We don't have to take anything, any kind of an oath to a government or a nation or an entity to use it. And we can choose not to use it. I can go down to the local hardware store, pay cash, and buy my parts and go home. There's no surveillance in that situation.
You could write a
forcing.
check.
I could write a check. You don't have to do that. But the www, the World Wide Web, is what he saw. But it's at another level from where we currently are. There is going to come a point here in the global economy where you will have to use the www. You'll have to use the internet to buy or sell. If you go to the local Walmart store and you purchase things and you present your credit card, you are using the web. It runs right through the internet. Everything is recorded. Who bought it, where it was bought, what was bought, how it was paid for, what account it came from, just like that. But you do that by choice. You're not being forced to. You don't have to pledge allegiance to some entity to get to do that. But the time will come when that is going to be a forced factor on at least the developed part of the world.
Which lends itself to, the recent discussions of digital dollars, digital worldwide currency, get rid of all the paper money, all the coin. You have to use digital currency. Right. And if that's what that is.
Right. It's
everything.
Chances are it will shape up in digital currency. There's a lot of different other potential ways it could, but bottom line is you'll have to, quote unquote, worship this beast. We'll talk about this in another session here in a minute. You'll have to worship this empire. The beast is an empire. We'll talk about that in the next one. Beast is not a person at all. This beast is an empire, a global financial empire. And the word is going to be, the rule is going to be, the law is going to be that if you buy something or you sell something, it has to be recorded through the internet or it cannot take place.
So, in effect, 666 WWW has been around since the mid-90s.
Since the mid-90s, yes.
So that's got to be interesting back over the centuries. When preachers would preach that, there was no way for them to try to figure that out because not until the mid-90s, 94, right in that area, did anything ever exist to even put those dots together.
That's correct. People have written books about the meaning of 666, but most of them are very hard to understand, strange, almost demented. And people do that kind of thing because they want to look smart and want everybody else to look dumb. The Lord knows that we are not super intelligent creatures. Things are simpler than we make them out to be. The Bible is simpler. More simple, that's the proper word. I know better than saying simpler. More simple than we make it out to be. And the simple fact is that an old Hebrew man saw 3 symbols, which were W's. And he realized from the Lord that without those, it'll come to the point that people on the earth will not be able to buy or sell. That's where we're going. The basis is set, the scenario is set, the machinery is there. All it takes is the creation of the global financial empire that will force this to be the only way to do business.